For our first story, we have I feel violated and confused by what my fiancé did to me. Will I be the asshole if I told my parents? I, female 20, am engaged to my fiancé, male 26, and we've been together for 2 years. He's never ever done something like this before, so I guess this is why I'm so scared. I just don't know. He's usually so kind. I feel violated, if I'm allowed to say that. It was 2 nights ago, and I haven't left my bed since. Basically, we were in his bed in his home and we were going to sleep. For info, my fiancé and I have never slept together before, and we don't do anything like that because I am supposed to be saving myself for marriage. He knows this and supports it, and likes that for me. Which is also why I feel so confused. He basically started touching me places and I kind of was like, what are you doing? And he said nothing, just touching. I made a joke about how I don't think it's allowed, and he snapped that he doesn't fucking care what's allowed or what's not. I was quiet and kind of let him do it, but I felt weird. After a while he was kissing me and basically asked me to do something for him, in that way. I told him no and tried to laugh it off. It was awkward and I felt low-key uncomfortable. He just held me there and told me to do it for him again. I said no again and got up to go to the bathroom because I was shaking. He followed me and said that I couldn't leave the bathroom unless I got down and did it for him. I kept saying no and I honestly thought he was joking for a minute, but he was serious. He closed the door and blocked it. He said he would wait all night. I said me too, and we just stood there for a while. Eventually, I sat down on the edge of the bathtub, trying to prove how I would seriously wait. He grabbed my shoulder and literally pulled me really hard onto the ground. I hit my knees hard on the tile, but he did not ask if I was okay. I had to do what he wanted, and the entire time I was just so sad and scared and embarrassed and uncomfortable, and it was an uncomfortable and awkward and painful experience all around. He was much nicer the rest of the night and apologized for hurting my knees. He told me not to cry and not to tell anyone because he still wants me to wait until married and they might think we didn't. He said stuff like that stays between couples, which I understand. I went home the next morning and my mom asked me if I was okay. I said yes. I haven't told anyone because I am ashamed. I feel low-key violated, but I also know I wasn't supposed to do anything like that, so I don't want to tell anyone I did. I'm just confused, I think. Would I be awful to tell my mom what he did? Update. Hi everyone. First, I want to say thank you for all the comments. Second, I want to say that I'm still going to get married. I told my mom, and while she was so upset for me, understood my feelings, validated me and talked to me, she also explained a lot of things to me that I'll probably just keep private. It made sense though. I reconciled with my fiancé and he apologized wholeheartedly and profusely. I believe he is sorry, and while we both acknowledge this is still really hurtful to me, he's not going to push me anymore or do anything like that again. So I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get married next week. Thank you again for all comments though, I really am grateful for them. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, I know this will probably get lost, but I was raised in a similar purity culture vibe. Honey, you already know. You know that what he did was super wrong and was not respectful of you or your humanity. He only cared about himself, and he was perfectly willing to make you upset, uncomfortable, even hurt you to get what he wanted. You didn't do anything wrong. You kept yourself safe in a moment where you were scared, and that is exactly okay. But now you need to keep yourself safe again, and that is by seeing this situation really clearly. You were forced into an unwanted sex act by a man who, despite previously being kind, proved that he could be deeply unkind. Your brain is going to want to excuse his behavior because you are trained to. It's embedded in how we are taught to behave as women in those enclaves. Don't rock the boat. Just a mistake. I confused him. Keep sweet. Don't tell on people, and on and on. You do not want to marry this man. He is on his better behavior now. When he has you as his wife, anything rope that was keeping him kind will snap. Tell your parents. Break the engagement, and I know that is so easy to say from behind a screen, so you need to try and get people around you who might help. Are there any loving people around you that might be outside of your religion who you could talk to? Sometimes they can see things more clearly than women who were also raised in the same system can, so be careful. Try and find a therapist. Do you go to school? Colleges often have them for free. No one who can see this situation clearly will think you did anything wrong. You didn't. 1,000 times over, not the asshole. My messages are open if you need to talk. Our second commenter says, he literally held you hostage, grabbed you, and forced you, hurting you. All for his own forced sexual gratification. Then told you to stop crying and to lie to protect himself. He didn't apologize to you for blocking your escape route. He didn't apologize to you for not listening to you when you said no. He didn't apologize for grabbing your shoulders. You shouldn't be ashamed. You should be angry at this asshole who violated your trust and has been trying to make you feel bad for something he forced on you. End it. And tell your mom why you've ended it so she can support you. Our third commenter says, if you have bruises, get your somebody to take pictures immediately. And break up now. Edit. Somebody. Sheesh. It got edited that mommy is not a good person, and I get criticized for not reading what wasn't there. Lighten up, people. For our second story, we have, am I the asshole for refusing to give up my paid aisle seat so a mother could sit with her husband, even after a flight attendant asked me to move? You've all been tricked. This entire debate, this entire outrage, it was all part of an experiment. The internet isn't what you think it is. You aren't debating real experiences, you're engaging with AI-generated content designed to trigger maximum discussion. And guess what? It worked. Thousands of you argued over a story that never happened. Some of you even spent real money on awards to support a fake narrative. Think about that for a second. This was all a test, a social experiment to prove how easy it is to manipulate online discussions and make you emotionally invested in something that never existed. And the best part? You're all going to be in a YouTube video breaking down exactly how you got played. Congrats on some of you commenters being famous soon. The dead internet theory is real. Most of what you see online isn't organic, it's manufactured engagement. AI-generated stories, fake outrage, and scripted controversies dominate the algorithm. You weren't debating real ethics, you were participating in an AI-driven cycle of engagement farming. Stop buying the narrative on the front page of Reddit. You all were lied to. It's all fake, it's all a lie. We have been using all of you to manipulate you every day. So tell me, how many other things have you argued about that never even happened? Mental outlaw out. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, not the asshole. They had the option to pay like you did. Our second commenter says, not the asshole, must be nice to be that selfish. It really is. You planned. You got the better seat. Not your problem they didn't plan this. Our third commenter says, how is this stunt really any different from that What Would You Do show on ABC where they hire actors to perform scenarios in public to see the moral reactions of the common citizen? So you have taken something people have been doing for years, e.g. candid camera, and performed the exact same thing over the internet. In doing so, you have revealed nothing that has not been revealed in these types of shows. Congrats on your uninformative social experiment with premise copied from shows on network television. Not everyone can fully restrict their adventures within the wide expanse of mundanity. BTW, aren't half the posts in this sub suspected in general to be I by one or more comments? For our last story, we have, am I the asshole for taking away the keys of our house from my husband's ex-wife? A couple of days ago, I came home from a work meeting and was unpleasantly surprised to find my husband's ex-wife wandering around the house, fresh out of the shower, with only a towel wrapped around her body. I felt absolutely hysterical, though I didn't show it. She had the keys because her daughter, who is also my husband's daughter, spends more time at our house than at hers, so she occasionally comes to visit her. This time, I didn't hold back. I demanded that she give me the keys and told her she wasn't allowed to come over while I was not home. My husband was asleep in the bedroom and had no idea that his ex-wife was even in the house. When I asked my stepdaughter why her mother had stayed, she simply said that she wasn't planning to leave until her dad woke up. My mind immediately interpreted that as an attempt at seduction. In short, I took away the house keys and told her that it wasn't necessary for her to come see her daughter on weekdays when my stepdaughter went to her house already on weekends. If she needed to come over for something important, she had to ask for permission. She called me crazy, but my husband backed me up, which was the only reason she eventually left without making a scene. Today, I started wondering if maybe I overreacted and handled things immaturely, but at the same time, I don't want her around my 4-month-old baby when I'm not home. Edit. To avoid more accusations, I checked the entire chronology of the cameras at home and my husband was sleeping with our baby all morning. He didn't even know she was home, but he was angrier than me when he saw her and even insisted that we report her. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Not the asshole. If this is real, but that's a huge overstep and really weird on her part. Time for some boundaries." Our second commenter says, "You're definitely not the asshole and she was trying to seduce your husband emo. She should have never been given a key and her reaction of getting mad says everything about her intentions." Our third commenter says, "If I came home to the husband's ex walking around in a towel, someone would be leaving in an ambulance." That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.